Banana slam jam.
Right now, we find ourselves in a common spot where we take a bottom tier tower where we grouped up and we're opening up the map for ourselves. You know, it's a pretty even game. Our team grouped up, and because we grouped up, the other lanes are pushed into us. This is something that's almost always going to happen. So notice how if we look at the mini map, we're going to see that bottom lane's getting taken by us, mid lane's pushed into our tier 2, and top lane's pushed into our tier 2. So we've talked about the on-off switch and a bunch of things, but what the on-off switch means is when it's on, we're creating pressure. When it's off, we're like dodging fights or like relieving pressure on certain lanes so that we can then create pressure again. So here's like a very common way that the Dota game is going to work. You're going to take this bottom tower, all right? Pretty standard stuff. You won a team fight, you killed a hero, you took a tower, you grouped up. One of your cores is going to go mid, or it could be supports. I'm going to say one of your heroes. One of your heroes is going to go mid and push it. One of your heroes is going to go top and push it. One of your heroes is going to stick here, kill this creep wave, and let it push into their tower. But the button's off right now. And the reason why the button's off is because you guys just grouped up, you lost all map pressure, and now you have to create pressure again. So there's this point where you be efficient to create map pressure, and then you be inefficient to kill a tower, or to take an objective, or to take a team fight. And when we mean inefficient, it means you're grouped up as 5. You're not farming a lot. You're only farming one location on the map. Take it like a rubber band where you're like pulling it and then releasing it, pulling it and then releasing it. So the rubber band's like high tension when you're killing this tower. Now it's like low tension because we have to go fix our lanes and we're relieving the pressure. And after we fix the lanes and we're allowed to regroup again, we tighten it right back up and we go create pressure. And this is especially important when you're a carry that is against another carry that is a late game hero more so than you are, and does not create pressure. So if you think about Arc Warden at 18 minutes into the game, is he forcing rotations, taking objectives, trying to fight? No. He has like a Midas and a Maelstrom. Like, I mean, I didn't even know his items yet, but like that's what an Arc Warden's gonna have. While on the other hand, Jug can be fighting, he can be shoving towers, he can be up in the face of the opponent, especially when they don't have any way to stun him through spin. So this is what I mean by one carry who's farming creates pressure and the other carry does not. So we took a tower, we dispersed to be efficient. So what you're going to do here, this is a 3K or 2K replay review. You're going to push in this lane just like you should, and you're going to farm backwards, okay? So farming backwards is great, and what I mean by backwards is away from the opponent's base. So like in this case, the backwards would be towards your ancients. So the backwards is a great way to farm when the button's off, because what you're effectively doing is while you're farming, you're like retreating, right? Totally makes sense. Not only are you being more passive, but you're also like avoiding the enemy team if they ever wanted to fight. You know, you're running away from them. So then we're going to fast forward to like you finishing off these camps, right? This is the obvious rotation. You're going to farm your way backwards on the 18-minute mark. You're going to run your way all the way to these ancients. And this is when Mars and Invoker are grouped. Your support players are grouped again. If you look at the map, when you were taking the tower, you guys were all being strong. Then you dispersed and you were chilling. Now, it's been like 30 seconds to a minute of chilling, and the lanes are pushed out, and you guys are capable of grouping up again. Mars could easily walk to your team. He has a blink. He has arena. Notice how tight it's released, and now it's tightened again. The band is tightened again, all right? So what that means is fucking farm in the face of the opponent. Run at them. Be really aggressive with your farm. Be like setting up your team to take good fights on their side of the map because you are shoving in lanes that are aggressive. So you should immediately run bottom here as fast as you can, and you're supposed to pressure this lane. And what that means for you is that this lane pressure is going to enable your team to be really strong. So don't back away from this. Don't back away from this. Your team is really strong. Do not retreat to the Ancients. What's going to happen here because you retreat to the Ancients is that your team is going to try to make an aggressive move, and the enemy team is now positioned aggressively on the map. You are just not going to be able to connect to this fight because you're sitting back here. Pop a healing ward. Fight that bounty hunter. Be strong. Instead, your team's going to fight without you. The lane here is getting pushed in by a Weaver instead with a Radiance. What the hell am I watching? And now you're like awkwardly walking to a fight that's in their jungle. And even though you got the kill, look at the lanes, right? The lane's shoving here. This guy's farming top. Arc Warden's farming mid. So even though you guys get a kill, absolutely nothing comes out of it. So what happened here is a classic. It can happen so many different ways. But what's going to happen is tighten the rubber band to kill a tower. Release it to go clear waves. Tighten it again by applying pressure. You know, pop a healing ward. Be survivable. Make them chase after you. Make them bring 3 heroes and then have your team connect to you. The faster you do this process, the higher MMR you are. So your team could have probably done that like 30 seconds faster. You could have been like a part of this. I would even strongly consider right here that instead of retreating to your Ancients right here, that you could go kill this creep wave because you see the Arc Warden defending. That's an even worthwhile consideration where you could do this instead of going back to here. And it's like, at that point, it's like an efficiency decision, but since there's like an Ancient stack and you want to farm it, it's okay. But please, guys, if you are not applying pressure properly as a carry against a carry that does not apply pressure to you, then your team's going to be stuck chasing creep waves. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to try to end the game, and because even though you kill heroes, the lanes are pushed into you, nothing happens out of it. And having these lanes properly pushed and being aggressive on the opponent's side is the key to turning kills into objectives. So, if you liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that shenanigans, because at the end of the day, YouTube does care about that. You may not care about it, I may not care about it, but the YouTube algorithm does. So, please do.